Welcome to the Life Multiplied podcast, where we sit down with local community members to hear their stories and learn what they love about the Bloomington-Normal community. Welcome to the Life Multiplied podcast. Today I have a very special guest. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Micah Vetter, and I run a branding and mural studio here in town. Okay. It's called Vetter Design Co.
Okay, so how did you end up here in Bloomington-Normal?
I actually grew up here, so I've been here since I was a little baby. I went to school here at ISU, graduated. I had a small stint in North Carolina, but then my husband and I moved back and have been here ever since.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. So we're really here to talk about your company, Vetter Design. So if you want to just kind of go ahead and give us the background story on how you got into branding and how all of this started.
Sure. So like I said, I went to school at ISU, studied graphic design there, really loved it. There's a lot of things you can do in graphic design. Like there's web, there's packaging, there's all these different types of things. In my senior year, we started to focus more on branding, and I fell in love with it. I loved that you can take nothing and create like a whole system around it. I really love the process of creating like a bigger picture and being able to hand that off to people, and then you can just make infinite things with this big vision that you create. And I also really loved working directly with people. So I really liked working with business owners and kind of getting to see their vision, and then you bring that to life in this visual system. So yeah, I got into it there. I did branding for a commercial real estate company for not a couple of years, it was like 1 year. Yeah. And I liked it, but I knew I could do it on my own, and I wanted to have, like I said, that relationship with the customers more one-on-one. Yeah. So 3 years ago, I left that job and started my own business, where I mostly just serve small businesses and create brand identities for them that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know this might sound, dumb, but could you explain to people listening kind of maybe if they have a business and, they don't have that kind of branding maybe, can you explain what brand identity is and why it's important for a business to have it?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
So brand identities, basically the concept of that is that every business needs to feel like its own person. I always say this when I'm talking to potential clients, that we want your business to not feel like you. Like if your name is Tiffany, I don't want it to be like, oh, it's Tiffany's business. I want this business to feel like its own identity, its own person. And a lot of times we need to put a lot of intentionality into creating that identity and that feeling behind the business itself. Just like all people, it takes a lot to make us who we are. We've got all these values, we've got the clothes we wear. And so we need to be intentional about building those things for a business. So that's what I do. I come in and I help a business figure out first what their values are, what their goals are, kind of create that core internal messaging. And then from there, we decide how to style it. So if you say, oh, my business really cares about the earth and we really care about organic relationships, that's going to inform probably an earthier, more organic type of look for your business. And all of that's important because that's how people make decisions to purchase with a company. There are a million options now. There's always more options of what your product is. You're not the only one on the market. So you need to make sure you know who the person is that you're trying to target, and then you build an identity around what that person would relate to the most. So that is the whole thing, is we're wanting you to stand out, feel relatable, and some people connect with the thing you're selling.
Sure. Yeah. And then it also comes down to, you create the logos and whatnot for companies. So when you're consistent with brand color, when you're consistent with brand font, that only helps. I was making an example, if you drive by a billboard and you just see a French fry with a red background, they don't even need their logo on there. 100%. So you want to get your clients to that point.
Yes. Recognizability. People always think they just need a logo, and I'm like, no, the goal actually is that we don't even need your logo. Eventually you can just have all this identity, and people will be able, like you said, the French fry and the red background, and they know instantly who that is. Or Nike, they don't need it to say Nike, they just have the swoosh, and we know we know who you are, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal that every business should have, is that their product or their signage or anything just stands alone. They know who they are everywhere. Yeah.
So you kind of touched on this, but can you walk us through how maybe a business would work with you? So how would they reach out, and then how would that process go?
Yeah. So usually I have people inquire on my website, and then I set up a discovery call with them, and that is just so I can get to know them better. Like I said before, I'm really, really client-based, so
Sure.
I do everything just hand in hand with them. I'm never going to make something and just be like, here it is, bye. So we like to get to know each other, make sure we have the same goals, visions, and I like to figure out what it is that their sticky points are. A lot of times businesses have certain things that are like, oh, I really hate posting on social media. Oh,
Sure.
I really hate figuring out what colors to use. And then I design a package for them based off of what their problems are so we can solve
Sure.
them. Not all businesses are the same. So well, after that, we basically go through this really long, super fun meeting though.
Yeah.
It's like around 2 hours
Super
long.
fun.
It's super fun, where we just like get into the core of their business and like what they value,
Okay.
and that is what informs all the design decisions that come after that. So nothing is trend based or just what the
Sure.
industry
Yeah.
likes.
Right.
It's about who that business is and what their goals are. So once we know that and hone in on that specifically, then we make designs that just like
Sure.
do super well because they represent them well.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, do you do a lot of marketing to kind of maybe get the clients, or do you get a lot of clients that just come to you, like through?
Well, in the beginning, you gotta hustle a little
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
So the first year, I was reaching out to a bunch of people, doing a lot of marketing on social media. I would just like go into random businesses and introduce myself.
Sure.
But that hard work has paid off.
Yeah,
So
I was like, I wouldn't want to have to do that every day.
No. So yeah, the first 6 months I was doing a lot of that, and it was actually really fun, and I got to know
Yeah.
a lot of people in the community. But yeah, now most of the time it's word of mouth through other clients, and honestly Instagram. I do a lot of marketing on Instagram.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
And I love that she goes back to the clients that you've worked with. I know you do like, what is it, 8 questions
Oh,
or
yeah.
like 6 questions with
Yeah.
your previous clients to kind of stay connected with them. So I think that's really cool that you do that.
I love my clients.
Yeah.
This is a disclaimer. If you work with me, we will probably become really good friends. So I will definitely be stopping by and saying hi, and just, it's so fun I make this identity for them and I hand it off and they get to just go use it.
Right.
And it's so fun to go back 6 months, 2 years later and see all the things that, even this like cup that you have
Yes.
right here, like we made that brand over a year ago, and they're still creating things out of the identity we made. So it's super fun to come back and be like, wow, look at all these cool
Right.
things you've made. It's like your little babies growing up. It's so fun.
Yeah. So I go to Irmana's studio,
Yes.
and she was packing up like some of the products that I bought last week, and she's like, Micah, help with this bag, and then she's showing me like the cards and whatnot. She's like, Micah's so great. So you have walking
Aww.
advertisement from these businesses. So
She's so great.
that's awesome.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Tiffany.
she's great. She's great. So do you want to share with us some of the brands that you worked with that are local?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm going to forget some.
Oh,
But,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
so-
I'm sure you've worked with plenty. So,
So
just a
yeah,
handful,
Lab
yeah.
Coffee, Irmana Studio, Evermore Aesthetics, Thrive Child Psychology,
Okay.
Epiphany Farms. I worked with them as well.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that one.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I did their estate branding, so like out at the farm. There's more. I've done murals. I've done a lot of
Okay.
murals in town too. Recently did one for Theo's Ice Cream.
Yes.
Casey's Garden Shop. I did a cute little butterfly. That was my first ever
Okay.
commercial mural, which was super fun.
So, are you recently getting more into the mural, or has that just always been something that you are doing?
I've actually been doing that for a while. I
Okay.
actually been backpedaling from
Okay.
that a little bit.
Okay.
I love painting murals. They are super taxing on your body. You
I
just
bet.
take it out of you for
I bet.
like a couple weeks. So, and I love branding. Like branding is my number one.
Right.
And so now that I've been so busy with that, I'm usually booked out like 3 to 4 months in advance with that. It gets difficult to plan for a mural.
Sure.
Especially because you have to drop everything and just
Yeah.
fully commit to it. But I do still do murals if it's the right person,
Sure.
right business, and they've got a really cool vision. I love bringing it to life. It coincides with branding super well because people have we build these cool identities for them and they want to show it off. And I'm a really big proponent of building murals that people take photos with.
Yes.
Like I'm not a designer and artist who just wants to make things pretty. I want
Right.
to make things pretty so you make money.
Sure. Sure.
So making like photo ops or destination spots in the towns that people are going to be drawn to it, take photos
Right.
with it, and ultimately like ties back to the economy of your business. That's important to me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you did a good job. And then I know, did you do one at a zoo?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Peoria Zoo.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's so fun.
That one
was
was
a good one.
so cute.
Yeah.
I had never done one in that. And there's so many little kids walking by every day, just like pointing. I was painting a lion, little kids just like,
oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Well, we need more murals in town, so hit her up. We will link her
Yeah.
socials and whatnot. So, do you want to share a memorable, like, okay, I'm sure that all of your clients obviously are very special to you, but is there a specific moment or someone that you worked with that's super memorable to you or meant maybe a lot? I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe your first one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, first of all of you I love. I've got so many good stories from so many of my clients. But the first one that comes to mind is Lab Coffee, which is where we're at right
Sure.
now.
Yes.
They were one of my first mural clients after I had done that butterfly one. I got connected with them actually randomly. This is when I first started, and I was just doing like a t-shirt design for them.
Sure.
And that then snowballed into me creating a mural for them, and then ultimately ended up being making their branding later on. And so they're just special because I've gotten to do it all with them.
Right.
And I've been with their business since like the really early stages, and it's been so fun to see them grow. And ultimately, they've just turned into my best friends,
Sure.
and I love them, and you know them. They're
Yeah.
like the best people
Yes,
ever.
they're great.
And getting plugged into this community, like I have to shout it out. It's the best place in this town. Like you meet so many good people.
Mm-hmm.
I've met so many clients from just being in this community at Yoga Lab. So ultimately, I think they just have opened up so many doors for me, and our friendship has just been like more than I ever thought it would be. Yeah.
Did you do the branding then for Yoga Lab and Lab Coffee?
So no, not Yoga Lab.
Okay,
Yoga Lab was established before I was
Okay.
around, but then Lab Coffee, we kind of expanded it all,
Right.
and then I made all these like fun icons, updated the logos to make sure that they matched, made the Lab Coffee logo.
Awesome.
Kind of
Yeah, I know. It's great probably because, you know, they have their coffee shop here, so to see them take the brand and open an actual, like a coffee shop, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so fun seeing people expand.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in the community forever. So can you tell us what you love about Bloomington-Normal?
We have such good people here. I mean, I travel and I'm always like, oh, this place is so much more maybe beautiful, or they've got cool mountains. But I come back here and I just love the people I'm around so much. I wanted to leave so badly, and I did leave for like 8 months because I was in my angsty post-college years.
We all get that.
We all get that. We're like, we gotta get out of here. And I did get out of here, and I missed it. I could not. I mean, I thought I was gonna be the last person on earth to say I missed Bloomington.
Yeah.
So my husband and I came back, and we just have the best people ever, and I don't think I'll ever be able to leave. People are kind here. People really care about you. I love the size of our town too.
Yeah.
Like, you can always meet new people, but you also can run into people that you know, which is just like the perfect mix. It's never boring, and it's also never isolating. So you just have this perfect balance, which is, I think, what people ultimately need in their lives, you know?
Yeah. No, I love it here because I'm from a small town, so like no city life for me, but I don't want the super small town life, so we are happy here.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. So where do you go to places in town? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do outside of branding? Like, what's your favorite restaurant, coffee shop?
Yes. Okay, I'm an active person,
Okay.
so I really like going to Proving Grounds in town.
Yeah.
They're a climbing gym.
Yeah.
It's very fun. I also obviously go to Yoga Lab, do some yoga there. Carl Fitness Center, they are great gym.
I hear that's a nice gym.
It's so
yet
nice.
to go, but
yeah, I'm a big fan. Different restaurants, I love Anju Above, so good.
That's like one of my favorites.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
The best birthday spot.
Yes.
Pop-up chicken, so good. I mean, I really think we've got amazing restaurants and like fun things to do. Whenever I meet someone that just moved here, I've got like a huge list that I send them.
Right.
Because it's great. There's so many fun things to do. First Fridays, that's probably one of my favorite things to do too.
Yeah.
Go visit different local artists and stuff in town.
Sure. All right. Do you have anything else you would like to share on behalf of yourself or the community? Anything else you'd like to share?
I just want to say I love it here.
Sure.
And I want to encourage anyone that maybe is struggling with that angst of, does our town have enough to offer for me? That there is, and I think it really is a lot. I've seen in my life that anytime I was feeling like that about where I lived, no matter where I lived, that it was ultimately like up to me to find those things. And that there's so many good ways to get involved in our town, and there's so many good people that want to know you and meet you and love you. That you just have to put yourself out there and find different ways to get plugged in. So that is just like a little PSA for everybody, and also a good reminder. Talking to you today has been a good reminder of like looking back and remembering those times when I didn't feel that way. Just feeling like so grateful that we have this place and get to call it home.
Yeah, and it's a growing community, so there's always more to come.
Always more. Okay. It's so fun.
All right, well, awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode, where we talk with local community members to learn more about life multiplied here in Bloomington-Normal.